Because we've heard about this story last year of Ruby Franke that went viral on social media for her quote-unquote strict parenting skills, which we all know that she was not a good mother. Not feeding her kids, punishing them in the worst way possible because if they didn't listen. I mean, I remember one clip of her forcing her kids to like do whatever. And her oldest son didn't allow her to sleep in a bed. Either she let him sleep on the couch or like a... It's something that I forgot what the video was about, but for whatever reason, I feel like she was not a great mother. Like, you can see in the documentary, it's being shown. She even admits to being a bad mother. Even her kids were the ones that got out safely. It's sick, bro. Like, I'm glad that her and her business partner got what they deserve. It's insane. Shout out to NBC for breaking this news to everybody, so let's get to it.
He's been sentenced to 1 to 15 years per count served consecutively. Brian,
Wow.
Your reaction?
It makes sense. That's what the judge is going to give based on the plea agreement, but the actual nuts and bolts, the actual years, because that doesn't tell us how many years. It's not 60.
Right. It could be a big difference whether you err on the side of the 1 or the 15, right?
Correct. And so the judge is giving those parameters. The Board of Pardons and Paroles will look at it, understanding that the max that they can give is 30 years because the top charge is a second-degree felony. And based on how they navigate through the system is what we'll understand is how many years in jail they'll serve, as well as any potential parole or probation afterwards.
Wow.
So that's for Ruby Franke. What are you watching for with Jodi Hildebrand? Does this sentencing tell you anything that's going to happen with that one?
A little. I posed this questions to the producers before this as well. What do you think is worse? To cause this damage to your own children or to do it to others? And that's definitely something that the judge is going to be considering. Because at least as we understand the facts here, Jodi Hildebrand in many ways is the ringleader. These are her theories that she has been guiding Ruby Franke, because we also know that Jodi's niece, Jessie Hildebrand, they came forward and said, this is part and parcel of what Jodi Hildebrand does. She hasn't just done this to these children, she's done them to all of them. So if Jodi Hildebrand is perceived as the ringleader, as we've all heard,
why would you call her the ringleader? Those are not her kids. That's Ruby Franke's kids. Like, what gives you the right to abuse them? Make it make sense.
her sentence ultimately in front of the board could be very different as well.
All right, we'll be watching that. Brian Buckmeyer, thank you. And again, breaking news, mom influencer Ruby Franke has been sentenced now to 1 to 15 years per count of child abuse that she's charged with, served consecutively. We will find out from the prison board a little later on what the actual sentencing will come out to be. But for more on how Ruby Franke rose to fame and whether there were missed signs before her arrest, be sure to watch Impact by Nightline's A Momfluencer's Double Life. That's streaming.
Me personally, I think what they need to do is give her 60 years, because if you pretty much divide or add those numbers out, so 30 plus 15, I guess it's 45 years when you think about it. But for me, I think 60 years will do some justice, because I saw this on Instagram and it makes sense. Frank got 60. Her business partner got 15 years. So that's pretty much like 60 years or 45 years when you think about it. If my math is off, please let me know in the comments down below. I hate math, but you get the point I'm trying to make. All I know for sure is that these two need to be held accountable for their own actions. And the kids suffered a lot. They're scarred for life. You hear me? They're scarred. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no coming back from it. There's no running to God knows who. So the only thing they can do is heal and go to a family that loves and adores them. Like, you can forget about Frank and her mini-me, I guess you could say. So, shout out to ABC once again. Link to the original video will be down below. These two will be held accountable as of today. It's gone viral. It's out. The story is out.